Welcome to Offensive, where it's another Jerry Jones national holiday.
I'm so happy. I've been sick all day. And Jerry, I just want to say thanks for taking care of me yet again, dude. I really appreciate the love and support that you send Packer fans and taking our trash and
He
saving
loves
us.
you guys way too much. It's pretty obnoxious.
It's ridiculous. Like, I don't, and you know, the funniest thing is that so many Dallas fans are like, oh, they traded us a Pro Bowler. And it's like, man, we could not wait to get Gary out of town for nothing. If we would have just cut him, I would have been ecstatic.
They were probably going to end up cutting him.
That's what I'm saying. The fact that we got a fourth and then the Dallas has to take his full sap.
That's the problem is that I didn't think anyone would take his salary. I think they would have to restructure, do this and that, and then end up having to cut him. And Dallas is like, nah, we'll just take him.
Yeah. So thank you, Jerry. We really appreciate it. But tons of news. Free agency frenzy today. The Bears signed some guys. The Packers didn't sign anybody, but there's a reason for it. And then all kinds of crazy stuff. But let's actually get into what the Packers have done so far in 2026. So let's look at this. So we're going to see, we got Christian Welch, who we re-signed, Kennard, who we re-signed, Zaire, who we got in the trade when we sent Woolen to the Colts, and then Sean Ryan signs a big extension. Doug, how do you feel about the Sean Ryan extension? What did you think?
So, like, it kind of seems weird on paper, like that he's not really worth that amount of money. They actually paid him more than, what's his name? Got from the Chargers, the other center.
Yeah.
Tyler Biadasz got?
Yeah,
Biadasz. But maybe Biadasz just want to go to the Chargers. Maybe he didn't want to go to the Packers. Who knows? Like, whatever is going on there. But so that seemed really weird. But the thing that happened today with the center going to the Raiders, who's getting paid like $60 million guaranteed and everything.
Right.
I think teams were in a rush to get centers before that guy landed a huge contract because it might have pushed up the market.
Oh, it definitely did.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why the Bears traded away a 5th round pick in 27 in order to get the Bradbury, who, you know, if you look at PFF, he was the second or third worst graded center in the league. Granted, he made it to the Super Bowl, but you know, for only $5 million in a 2027 5th, that's actually pretty decent value just to have a vet out there. And one of the nice little side note is he was also the college roommates with Joe Thuney in college. So when they had road games, so they have familiarity. Granted, it's like 8-9 years back, probably Bears fans trying to say, hey, familiarity really doesn't mean anything. But yeah, but still, when you see $27 million a year, double what Coleman or what the Buffalo Bills center got, Shelton got.
Yeah.
It's $9 million more than any center's ever gotten for a contract per year.
Linderbaum wanted to reset the market, and he's at the age and he's got the talent to back it up. And I don't blame him for trying to go get his bag. But the thing that reset everything, guys, is that Dahlman retired, Kelly retired, and center was already kind of at a premium in the draft. There's only about 4 or 5 guys worth it. There's a few guys in free agency. So I think the Packers looked at it this way, that Sean Ryan, when he went in at the end of the year and started playing center, not his natural position, the offensive line was better. It wasn't great, but it was a lot better than
Elton Jenkins.
Yeah. And Sean Ryan can play both guard positions. He can also play right tackle in a pinch. And we don't have a ton of depth on the offensive line. Rashid just left. So if you look at the structure of the contract, year 3, they can get out for next to nothing, right? So we're basically paying him 2 years. He gets to fight for the starter job at center or potentially even win the starting right guard job, depending on how Belton does or how Brooks does. And then after 2 years, because we have a ton of cap then, if we don't want him, we don't keep him. Like, I think it's actually a pretty savvy move by the Packers, and I think it was heavily influenced by the other 2 teams in our division losing their center this offseason. Yeah. I don't think anybody expected that. So I actually kind of like the move. I think he's overpaid by about 3, maybe $2.5 million a year. I think he should have been at 7.5, maybe 8 at most. But when the market's small, you get paid a little extra, right? So that's just kind of how it went. So I like the move. What about you?
They were just caught in a spot where they pretty much had to sign him or get somebody that might have been worse at this point.
Right. Or overpay somebody you're not familiar with, or take your chances in the draft. Right. So I actually like the move. We've got money to do it right now.
Yeah. The guaranteed money made it a pretty sweet deal. And this year, you know, Green Bay, you got picks in the 4th and 5th round. They say that's where the centers are going to go. And when you look at Drew Dahlman, when you look at Linderbaum, they were taken in the 4th round. So there's guys out there who you can build you coach them up in 2-3 years, so that way maybe they can be at what you want Sean Ryan to be. And if he's not, okay, slide him back over to guard in 1 to 2 years, and that's pretty good money for a starting guard right now.
Dude, I'm all about it. Honestly, if we pay Sean Ryan this money, let's say we draft a center in the 4th round, Dave, and he beats out Sean Ryan for the position, I'm still not mad, because that just means we drafted a great guy to play center. Do you know what I mean? So like, either way,
and you have a veteran quarterback who already knows how to call out the blocking assignments. He knows the system. So Green Bay, you have that flexibility. So yeah, all in all, I thought that was a slam dunk.
Well, they just need O-line depth. They need to draft, and they need to keep guys that are decent.
We need to draft at least 2 O-linemen, 1 tackle, 1 center, hopefully, maybe even 3, 1 interior lineman. I could see the Packers trading back in the 4th or the 5th to get 1 extra pick and stack 3 linemen. We still need cornerback. We probably still need linebacker, I would say, just for depth. And we still need defensive interior. So there's a lot of positions here. But let's actually bring this up, Doug, because I like this graphic that you made. So this is their total picks this year: 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 2 7ths. We got a comp pick because we're cool, and the Bears are not cool, and they didn't get their comp pick.
Yeah, we know how to finesse.
Hey, NFL, here's what we think about you. I got niche.
Yeah. No, we'll go into the comp picks later because the NFL announces it obviously next season, and a lot of it's based on performance. Some of it's based on salary. So there's a lot of things that go into it, but this is the most likely scenario, guy, is that for Malik, we get a 3rd, Rashid, depending on where he goes. If it's over 20 million, we'll probably get a 3rd. Dobbs and Walker around 12 to 14 million. You're probably going to get a 4th, maybe a 5th. Right. And so this is the thing too. A team can only get 4 comp picks total, and there's only 32 throughout the league. Right. Coaches are a different thing. So I think the Packers are in this offseason, guys. They're not going to sign any major free agents. I don't think, unless something falls into their lap, they want to lose a 3rd round pick next year. But so I think they're going to try to trade.
Barre is also a guy they lost who's going to be equal to maybe a 6.
Yeah.
So if they signed like a Clay Campbell or somebody like that, will even that out, and they'll still maybe get 4.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Not a major signing. Like what Barry signed for 10, we'd have to sign for that or less for it to kind of negate.
But if they get somebody great, that's fine. But if they sign like just a good D tackle that's just good and not great, that's totally fine.
That's what I want. I want like a $9 to $10 million mercenary D tackle. Give me one of those. Like that's definitely what I want.
Not to mention, if you got a D tackle, it's just good but not great. That'd be an upgrade for you bitches.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. It absolutely would. Like I am not discounting that at all. But dude, I just want to say this Rashawn Gary trade like made my day. I cannot believe the Cowboys gave up draft capital for them. I like the Zaire Franklin trade. Now he's not great in coverage over the middle, but if he's going to play on the outskirts or the edges, where we basically had McDuffie play at times, McDuffie's even worse when it comes to coverage than Zaire Franklin is. So I think that's an upgrade automatically. We got rid of Elton Jenkins today, so we get that cap money back. And then, like we said, Malik and Quay have already signed. We'll see where Rashid and Romeo go. They're definitely going to sign pretty soon, I'd imagine. But yeah, I really like what they're doing so far. I think it's a little less exciting than maybe people had hoped.
Zaire Franklin is more of like a mentality grab than he is like, he's not probably going to, he was all pro 2 years ago or whatever. Right. We can't really expect that. He is a dude that's like kind of that dog who's like always giving 100%. He always plays. He's never hurt.
Right. He's a leader.
He's just a leader. He's wearing the green dot. He's wearing the C on his chest. He's a natural born leader, and he's a wild man out there. And I think that's kind of what they've been talking about. The Packers need to toughen up and get to be a more tough team.
Dougie, real men wear the C on the helmet. Not on the
no, but you guys are going to wear an I on the helmet for Indiana now.
Like this, Dave, and it actually ends up being a G.
It's going to be an I now on the helmet, Dave.
And guys, don't forget that who was the defensive coordinator in Indianapolis a couple of years ago? Jonathan Gannon, right? Yeah. So like Jonathan Gannon has worked with him. I would imagine if he was on the market, Jonathan Gannon said, hey, get me that guy. And we gave up nothing to get him. We're taking his salary, which we can afford. Colby Wooden was a massive disappointment. We might have cut him anyway. So it's pretty much like, hey, they're like, we can't pay this guy. And we're like, well, we don't want this guy, so we'll take the money. I actually really like the trade. If he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. We didn't really lose anything other than a couple $1 million, if I'm being honest.
And Wooden's one of those guys, just like Rashawn Gary, where he starts the season pretty decent, and you're like, whoa, he's going to have a good year. And then after like week 4, they just like fall off a cliff.
Yeah, and we'll get into more of this later, but congrats on Malik going to the Dolphins, not the Cardinals. I mean, the Dolphins are still a dumpster fire, but it looks like the Dolphins are doing things right, guys. They're like cleaning house completely. And I like the way this contract is set up for Malik. He can get out after 2 years. If he wants another contract, he can force another contract after 2 years.
They're slowly building up that offensive line.
Yep.
Their center was all world last year. Some of the other pieces are younger. They're coming up. They're trying to put together their defense. And, you hire a defensive minded head coach. He should be able to do more with less. So why not try to build up the offense? So I was sad to hear Malik might go to Arizona, and then you find out he has a choice, and he's like, I could probably get more money out there, but nope.
Yeah. Dolphins are definitely doing some cap gymnastics this offseason because they split the penalty they have to pay on Tua between 2 seasons. But honestly, when you're this bad anyway and you're starting from scratch, it doesn't matter. As long as you're under the cap, when you pay the penalty doesn't matter because it is for them. And I'm glad they realize this. It is like a 2 to 3 year rebuild for them.
They're paying like $67 million this year against the cap. So next year it's like 30. So it's not really that, it's like kind of they're just taking it all now.
But that's why if you're in a 2 to 3 year rebuild, why not take a shot at a 2 to 3 year quarterback?
Exactly. No, I like it. And Quay gets paid going to the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders were throwing money at everybody, and they had it. Let's be honest. They've got the money. I'm glad we did not pay Quay that kind of money.
We could have. We do have the cap now to do it.
But for 3 years, I don't want to pay Quay $12 to $13 million a year, 14 almost $1 million a year.
I understand they're going to have a rookie quarterback, but this just seems like way too much desperation, throwing way too much. Linderbaum's contract. Everyone else, you have like 7-8 guys out there. They threw like 100+ million guaranteed out there.
Yeah, they gave Naylor a big contract. They gave Stokes $10 million a year, and he's okay.
He played really well this last year.
Well, compared to our cornerbacks, he played really well. Like he was pretty average compared to the rest of the league. But I mean, they don't have a lot of talent, so they can afford to pay guys a little more who, maybe in the market would get 7 or 8. They can pay him 10. So they're trying. I get it. I'm happy for Quay, though, that he got his money, but I'm glad that we're not paying him that, if I'm being perfectly honest. I do not want to pay him that money. To me, based on his performance, he's like 9, maybe 10, maybe 11 on a good day, million a year, not 14 million a year. So good job, Raiders, giving him his money. I think Rasheed Walker's the same thing. I think Rasheed Walker is going to get 25, maybe 27 million a year based on this market. And there is zero chance I would pay him that. That's what they're saying, Dave, because there's only like 2 tackles on the market right now.
Like 2023, maybe, but even that's pretty spicy. But
I'm saying there's only 2 tackles on the market. Somebody's going to overpay him. And to me, he's a 14 to 16 million a year guy at best. And he's going to get 10 more of that on the market. So, yeah, dude, go.
You think some of the teams that would be interested are holding off to see what they can get from San Francisco?
Yes, I think that's part of it because the Williams trade is out there. Now, he's an older guy, so that might be a little different. I feel like whoever pays Rasheed is like an upcoming team that maybe hasn't paid their quarterback yet that needs a sustainable left tackle, right? Where if you're trading for Trent Williams, like you better expect to win playoff games because he's got one.
You're doing it for now because
that's what I'm saying. 1, maybe 2 years left if you're lucky. So I think it's a different market though for each of those 2 guys, if I'm being honest.
True.
And you got to take on Trent Williams' $30 million a year contract. So it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough to make that trade. Like who's a Super Bowl contender that's got 30 million to play with? Do you know what I mean?
The Packers do.
Well, I was going to say the Patriots, maybe you bring him in. He can train up Will Campbell. We move Campbell to guard, right? Have him for a season or 2. Patriots got cap room. Like they definitely need a left tackle. I could see the Patriots maybe doing it, but it really depends on what the comp San Francisco wants. So, yeah, that's an interesting one. But all right, so that wraps up our current Packers transactions. Hype, what is your favorite move that they've made so far? What's the favorite move that the Packers have made?
By far, trading Rashawn Gary. I don't know how they got that deal done, but I guess they must have like inside spies that just whisper into Jerry Jones' ear, like Rashawn Gary is really good. Yeah, just trade with the Packers all the time. I mean, the thing about it is like if you look at who they're getting rid of, it's all guys that just didn't put in the full effort, that just seemed to like run out of gas, to just not have the heart to really like put everything in there, especially at the end of the season. And they're bringing guys in like Zaire who are like dogs all the time. And like even though on paper, the talent level might not have gone up right now, but the attitude level has gone up and they have money to get more guys. So that makes me excited.
You guys want to hear something crazy?
What's
now
that?
that Elton Jenkins has been released, the longest term Packer is now Jordan Love. He's been on the team the longest.
That
right?
sounds
So,
right.
Crazy.
Yeah, 6 years, but he's still young, so you don't really think about that. Do you know what I mean? He's still a young guy. So he's turning 28 this year, and he's the longest tenured Packer on the team. So, but I think, again, they've been doing the youth movement for a few years, and it's time to get rid of veterans that aren't pulling their weight and bring in some new ones. And I like what they're doing so far. So, yeah, speaking of veterans, thank you again, Jerry. You're the best. I'll send you a Christmas present, I promise. And, yeah, we really appreciate everything you guys do down in Dallas, taking our scraps. Thanks so much. And